Something very strange is happening in these places. This huge development in these places could set the world up for the mark of the beast. Number 1. Davos, Switzerland. With strange titles like the Great Reset, the World Economic Forum has long been suspected of being the organization that will introduce the mark of the beast. Watch this video to the end to learn this organization's strangest plan and how Christians should respond to it. The World Economic Forum, WEF, is a non-government organization based in Kolawole near Geneva, Switzerland. It was started on January 24, 1971, by a German engineer named Klaus Schwab. This organization gets most of its money from 1,000 big companies that make over $5 billion annually. They also get some money from the government. Their main goal is to improve the world by bringing together leaders from business, politics, and other areas to help shape important plans for the world, different regions, and industries. The forum believes that the best way to handle a globalized world is through a group of chosen multinational companies and governments. They show this through ideas like the Great Reset and the Global Redesign. The WEF is best known for its big annual meeting held at the end of January in Davos, a mountain resort in Switzerland. This meeting gathers about 3,000 paying members and special guests, including investors, business leaders, politicians, economists, celebrities, and journalists. They spend up to 5 days discussing global issues in around 500 sessions. How should a Christian view the Great Reset by the World Economic Forum? In June 2020, the World Economic Forum, WEF, hosted its 50th annual conference in Davos, Switzerland. At the Davos 2020 conference, the term the Great Reset was introduced, and the Great Reset Initiative was launched. The concept of the Great Reset has been around since at least 2010, when the book The Great Reset by Richard Florida was published. The World Economic Forum's plan for the Great Reset wants to change how countries relate to each other, how economies work, what societies focus on, how businesses operate, and how the world's resources are managed, as mentioned on their website. At the 2020 conference, there were 3,000 people from 117 countries, including 53 leaders of nations. The supporters of the Great Reset want to create a new global system with a lot of control over different areas of life. This has led some people to question if the Great Reset is linked to the antichrist rule in the end times. Revelation chapter 17 verses 12 through 13 tells us that 10 kings will team up with the beast during the tribulation, sharing power. They will then fight against the Lamb. Verse 14. Since the Antichrist's future rule is known to be evil, any move to gather economic or political power might align with Satan's plans, no matter how helpful these plans seem. If the objectives of the Great Reset are achieved, it could lead to the establishment of a global governing body, a concept that Daniel views as a frightening entity. Revelation chapter 17 verses 12 through 15. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Then he said to me, The waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. This is likely referring to a 10-nation confederation. Regardless of their specific identity, their actions are obvious. This mysterious figure rules over all the people, crowds, nations, and languages in the world. The prophecies and warnings found in the Bible are not just historical or theoretical concerns. They are highly relevant to the spiritual challenges we face today. When faced with the challenges of the Great Reset and otherworldly plans that resemble the rebuilding of the Tower of Babel, how should a Christian respond? First, refuse to worry. Remember that all the schemes of the godless will come to nothing. We learn from Proverbs chapter 12 that God condemns those who devise wicked schemes. The real Great Reset will happen when Jesus Christ returns, bringing true justice, peace, and fairness to a world that desperately needs it. Number 2. The EU and chips. Pay attention, America. The sign of the Antichrist is already underway. A recent World Economic Forum update discussed a topic called the race for advanced AI chips. In this post, they shared a link that said, right now, demand for the advanced chips needed to power AI is skyrocketing. In response, many leading technology companies are unveiling new models of AI chips. Intel, Meta all announced their latest AI chips. NVIDIA unveiled its new AI chip at its annual developer conference in March, promising super-fast processing speeds. The semiconductor company is a leading manufacturer of the graphics processing unit, GPU chips needed for large language models. This year, it has become the third largest public company in the world by market capitalization. Chips are the building block of a new type of economy. The economy will indeed change. No matter what industry you are in, consumer goods, healthcare, shipping, the business processes are becoming AI-enabled, says an expert in AI in the enterprise. The post then went on to say, many countries, including the US, the EU nations, and India, are heavily investing in new semiconductor facilities to build the wafers that form the base for advanced chips. However, it will take many years for these facilities to become operational. This has fueled the belief that the prophecy of the Bible in the book of Revelation is underway, particularly the concept of the mark of the beast. Number 3. Australia and the RFID chip. What's happening in Australia? Australia is quickly using RFID technology everywhere. Plus, Australia is trying out RFID for tagging fish, tomatoes, and other foods. Let's compare Australia with another country that has a similar number of people and similar money habits, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is known for using RFID technology a lot, especially in places like sports events, such as football games. They use RFID cards and other RFID tools for many things. Radio frequency identification, RFID, uses special waves to automatically find and track small chips attached to things. This technology has been around for a long time and is used for many purposes, like tracking medicine, library books, cars, jewelry, pets, and even wildlife. RFID helps easily locate and quickly identify these items. It's also used in car keys that don't need to be turned, and for paying with a card without touching it. Now, RFID chips are being put into people. Some companies have given their workers these chips, so they can just wave their hand to open doors, pay for food, and use the copy machine. People who support these RFID chips for humans imagine a future where no one needs to carry a wallet or passport, where lost children and seniors can be found easily, kidnapped people can be rescued quickly, and doctors can see a patient's medical history instantly. RFID technology is becoming more popular worldwide, but there are worries about health, technology, and ethics. For those who read the Bible, an RFID chip might seem like the mark of the beast mentioned in Revelation, especially since many of these chips are put in a person's right hand. The mark of the beast in the Bible. The book of Revelation tells us about the mark of the beast. When the antichrist, also called the beast, is in charge, everyone, whether rich or poor, free or enslaved, will have to get a mark on their right hand or forehead. This mark is needed to buy or sell anything. It will show the beast's name or a number connected to him. By making this mark mandatory, the beast can control buying and selling. If the mark is an RFID chip, it can also track everyone and see their personal information. Number 4. Sweden. Also, we have reports of Johan Österlund from Sweden, who implanted a microchip under people's hands. This is a scenario that is happening more and more in today's age. The company is called Biohacks International, and over the past few years, he is reported to have done this procedure over 4,000 times. Many people are worried about such chips and technologies due to the power of controlling buying and selling using similar technology. Österlund thinks that his company's success is connected to Sweden's openness to new technology, which might worry people in other countries more. Because of our history, we trust the government more here, he said. People in other countries might be more worried than we are in Sweden. Just like in our previous examples, this situation reminds people of the book of Revelation, especially in chapter 13, verses 16 to 17. It talks about a mark on people's hands or foreheads that could be linked to new technology and events that might happen during the Great Tribulation at the end of time. This has caused many to think, could this really be the technology that the book of Revelation prophesied about? It is actually amazing to think that the book of Revelation is so relevant, although it was written 2,000 years ago. The mark of the beast will identify those who worship and submit to the rule of the beast. Those who refuse the mark will be considered traitors and may face starvation or immediate death if captured. One scholar describes this period as a time when both capital and labor are under the control of one man. Those outside of this system will be boycotted, unable to find work, buy or sell goods, leading to bankruptcy and starvation. According to the Bible passages in Revelation chapter 16 verse 2 and chapter 19 verse 20, the mark of the beast is a symbol that distinguishes those who worship the beast out of the sea. Revelation shows us the economic strategy of the first beast and the second beast. Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 through 17. Also he compels all, the small and the great and the rich and the poor, and the free men and the slaves, to be given a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, signifying allegiance to the beast, and then no one will be able to buy or sell except the one who has the mark, either the name of the beast or the number of his name. He causes all to receive a mark. A mark will be given to everyone under the government of the beast and his associate. This mark is necessary to participate in the economy, and those without it will not be able to buy or sell anything. Only those bearing a special number on a visible part of their body, hand or forehead, will be allowed to trade, and the number will only be marked on those who engage in imperial idolatry. The number 666 is the coded name of the dictator. We have already discussed its meaning, the nature of apocalyptic writing. Until he arrives, when his identity with this figure will be only too obvious, all attempts to decode it are useless speculation. One thing is clear, he will fall short of perfection, 7, in every regard. The word haragma in the ancient Greek refers to a mark, but it is not commonly associated with people. Thus, some interpret it as a symbolic mark. However, the idea of a physical mark required for buying or selling is not impossible and could be practical. Revelation chapter 7 verses 3 through 4. Saying, "Do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees until we seal. Mark the bondservants of our God on their foreheads." And I heard how many were sealed, 144,000, 12,000 sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. The Antichrist is described as a man whose appearance was greater than his brothers. Due to his charismatic personality, speaking abilities, and outstanding good looks, he will be extremely irresistible to the masses. The Apostle John adds to Daniel's account of the Antichrist's blasphemous activities by stating that everyone alive must worship him. Finally, the Antichrist is referred to as a beast in Revelation chapter 13 verses 1 through 8, which is an apt description. Throughout the final 3.5 years of the tribulation, the Antichrist will personify Satan himself. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9 says, "The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders." The Antichrist will progress from being a regional leader to a world leader, a ruthless global tyrant, and finally, a god. The number of the beast. Revelation chapter 13 verse 18. "Here is wisdom. Let the person who has enough insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the imperfect number of a man, and his number is 666. The usage of numbers as symbols is very common. The book of Revelation has a large number of sevens, including stars, lampstands, lamps, seals, trumpets, and bowls. It is the round number of the Bible, the complete, the perfect figure. 12 is associated with the old people of God, their tribes, and the new, their apostles. 24 brings them together. 1,000 is the largest number. 666 is the one that captures attention. It is made up of sixes, a figure that always alludes to humans' inability to achieve the 7 that represents complete perfection. It is used here as a clue to the identity of the last world dictator before Jesus reigns for 1,000 years. In Latin, a millennium. Is it significant that 666 is the total of all the Roman numerals except 1? The word mark in the Bible doesn't have any special meaning except for its link to the beast. In Greek, the word charagma usually meant a stamp or a seal used on documents or coins. Charagma was often used as an official seal of the Roman Empire on important papers during the 1st and 2nd centuries. In addition to its use in Revelation, the term charagma appears only once in the New Testament, specifically in Acts chapter 17 verse 29, where it refers to an artistic image. Acts chapter 17 verse 29. So then, being God's children, we should not think that the divine nature, deity, is like gold or silver or stone, an image formed by the art and imagination or skill of man. Who is the Antichrist, and how will we know him? The Bible tells us that during the tribulation, one man, the Antichrist, will rise up to bring the world together under one rule. Just like his father, the devil, this evil leader will seem like a good guy at first, but he will eventually show his true wicked self. How will he bring the nations together? The prophet Daniel describes the Antichrist in these terms. Daniel chapter 7 verses 7 through 8. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Daniel tells us that the next big leader will be famous for their impressive speeches, which will make people pay attention and give them control. But Daniel also warns us that the smooth talker will not only speak grandly, but will also speak with pride against God. The Apostle John talks about this leader in the book of Revelation. The beast was given a mouth to speak proud and disrespectful words, and power to act for 42 months. Revelation chapter 13, verse 5. And the beast was given a mouth, the power of speech, uttering great things and arrogant and blasphemous words. And he was given freedom and authority to act and to do as he pleased for 42 months, 3.5 years. Who will worship the Antichrist? According to Revelation chapter 13, verse 8, all who dwell on the earth will worship him. According to Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, the Antichrist is a cult leader. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High, and shall intend to change times and law. He will speak out against heaven's genuine God. The terminology suggests that he will attempt to elevate himself to the level of God and make statements from there. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4 says, the Antichrist opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. He will accept the worship of the people of the world. Does the mark of the beast exist today? Many of us wonder if the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter 13 will be a high-tech tattoo or the plan of a billionaire. The Bible makes it very clear what the mark is and when it will happen. To begin, there is a strict timing requirement for the mark. Scripture teaches that the mark of the beast will appear at a particular time and place in history. But at this point in time, we have not yet arrived at that time or place. The reason why the mark of the beast is referred to as the mark of the beast is because it is brought into being by a man who is referred to as the beast. So, until the Antichrist is ruling the entire earth, there can be no mark. And since the Bible says the beast and his mark do not appear on earth until the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation, then the mark cannot exist in any form prior to the tribulation. Therefore, any suggestion that a mark of the beast exists today in any form is merely a forewarning.